understanding time in school. Knowing when you can drive within traffic, understanding that you're not going to get every call. You're still one of the young players in this league. But understand the time to drive the create for your teammates, when to touch the paint, understanding that what in the third quarter, you're pushing your whole team out. Your strength is the speed. Getting to the middle of the paint and creating shots for others, those are the things that the Warriors want to see. When they say that Jonathan Kuminga is buying into the system, that's what they're talking about. That's like, you understand your strength, using it to create shots for other guys, using it to make the team better. I think that's the next level. But right now, you're seeing incredible talent. 6 turnovers, 1 JP, 1 double.
Mic check, check.
Times in the paint, contesting very well.
Mic check, check. Crazy feedback. Fix that right now. Not even, dude. In my office with all the windows open and 3 fans running. I wish I had a fucking garage, dude. Yep. Just up in here. Just heating up these the skillets here. Wish I'd had anything. I want a kayak. I don't got no room for a kayak. Boy ain't got shit. Salty Ricky, what's up, dude? About to get down here on some gotta make a bunch of ghost plugs for some orders. What do I got? I got first one here is I already got some of it. Two of these halibut hustlers. 4 ghost plugs. They need 4 blunt smoke. Got ancient aliens. 2 of these ancient aliens, you know what I'm saying? I want to figure out how to put like a name in here. If I can find some kind of some kind of confetti or something that can withstand like 350 degrees, I will fucking insert that thing right in here, and then in my orders I can put people's names, give them one of these or a special little bait with their name inside. That'd be pretty cool. And like every order, I kind of want to try making a skin and writing with a Sharpie first and seeing what happens right on the inside of the skin, then fill it. It would probably work. Maybe not perfectly, but I think it would work. But anyway, I gotta make 4 ghost plugs, 4 blunt smokes to fulfill this order here. Go ahead and start heating this up, some clear plastisol. Let's shut this because this looks like an accident waiting to happen. What's going on if you're just joining? About to get up on these baits, you know what I'm saying? You got it all. You probably just watch Warriors lose like I did. Yeah, dude, they were looking all right, right? I was went halftime, put on 96.7, whatever that is, listening to them during halftime. Came back, ate my in and out. You know what I'm saying? And then that shit just went downhill, dude. Turnover city. You know what I'm saying? I definitely just watched that. Look at him. Look at him. He's sad, dude. Yeah. Whatever. But it's my little gaming station, dude. I used to play tons of video games. Now I ain't got no fucking time for video games at all. I love video games. All I do is work. My other job, do this, fishing, making baits. I ain't got no time for games no more, dude. I gotta grab a drink real quick and then we'll get going. Gotta hit it with that stabilizer so it doesn't burn. Just get this old stuff in here, might as well. It's a good thing about this, if you handle it well and don't heat it too hot, use stabilizers all the time, you can reheat this stuff a good amount of times before it starts losing color. This is what happens. This was this, and I walked away, forget what I was doing, watching Warriors lose one time or something, I don't know. Just watching something, not paying attention. This clear turns into this nasty yellow. I mean, you can still reuse it. It's still good. I'm going to turn that into a color. I'm going to melt. I mixed it with some of this bone white. I'm just going to repurpose it into a different bait. Some of that free stuff I give away whenever people order. Yeah, hella turnovers, dude. Alright, hold on. Let me grab a drink. I'm going to stop this microwave so I don't get that all yellow like last time. wish I didn't have to wear a mask with this shit though. I'd rather just do it. Shit. Alright. Still not quite. You just gotta be really gentle with it. Especially because this is a small batch here. I'm just trying to get a skin pour, so I don't want to use too much plastic. But when you have small batches, you have to watch it, because once it gets to like 300, it's like 5 more seconds and it's ready. 10 more seconds, it's gonna start turning yellow. Jig heads, I don't want to do jig heads until I move into a spot where I have somewhere to do it. This plastisol that I use, it's like high grade stuff. It's free of phthalates and all the really bad stuff, but it's still not good to breathe in. But lead is a totally different story. I don't want to start jumping into that without even thinking about it. I know it's not hard to do, but that's the kind of stuff you do and you don't think about it, and then 50 years down the road it's like, what the fuck, been messing with lead this whole time. I really want to make jig heads. When I have a garage I will. I'll get a good exhaust fan and all that stuff. But here I'm going to start with this. This is that Lureworks right here, sparkle blue glitter. This is like the best shit. Put a healthy scoop of that in here. Look at that. You see how it's white, but when you put it in here, look at that. It's magic. I love this stuff. Check it out. I'm gonna move this if I can. Okay, I'm gonna heat this for like 5 seconds. Throw my mask on for a second, and we're gonna pour the skin. Just mask because I'm gonna be hovering over this. Oh. Get my left hand glove here. This is a skin pour. This is essential for this holographic style that you see me do on my baits. So that's that. These are hot, so it helps it thin out. You can see here, I don't know if you can see on the camera, there's some, not really bubbles. It's like, I think I dripped on top of it by accident. I'm gonna have to use this heat gun. So what happened there, I wasn't paying attention, and when I was dripping the other molds, I accidentally dripped on top of the skin, which when I do pour it, it's gonna give it somewhat of an imperfection, which really it's not bad. It's not gonna do anything to the way the bait moves or anything, the mobility of the bait. It honestly, it kind of looks cool, but since I'm selling these things, I can't really have any of that kind of stuff. So then I go ahead and I take this. I think I'm gonna refill this little jar here. This is that solar sugar holographic powder made by 8-bit molds. This stuff is really expensive. I don't know if you guys ever been on my stream before. This little one is like 15-20 bucks. This is 5 grams. This is 1 gram. This 5 gram here is 5 gram is like 80 bucks. I want to get some of this in here. Like that right there is probably like 10 bucks worth, dude. I feel like I'm dealing drugs here. Let's get the cap back on this quick. That's precious materials there. Don't want to lose it. I like transferring into this. I have one small bottle of it, one big bottle. Once I used up the small one, I just use this little one now because it's way easier to handle. And this is cool. This is a cool part. I used to paint a lot, so I'm pretty used to an artist brush. But you can do designs on here if you want. You can put different mica powders or holographic powders for gills. Like I can put something here, like a red powder or a different kind of holographic. So what we did here, we made a skin. So I'm painting on the inside of the skin. This is all essential stuff here. This is how my baits turn out like this. Just straight, like real fish skin. You gotta make that skin first. And then you close the mold and you pour the rest. These ones are the ghost plugs. It's my signature model. You can see my videos on my page catching a bunch of fish with these ones. I have a video posting, I haven't started editing it yet, but usually edit for like 8 hours. I've been so busy. I went out yesterday morning and caught with a bunch of my new stuff. Tried 4 different things, caught 4 different striper. Every time I caught one, I just switched the lure, all kind of testing purposes, because I knew there was a school around. So if you know striped bass, when the schools are there, they're usually hidden if you're throwing the right stuff. So I just kept switching them around while I had the chance to test out my shit to see what they were biting or what they weren't. And they bit everything. These ones I just put on the store last night. These are called hollow tips. They got nice little ribs. Look at the action on that tail. Like I'm not barely even moving. Like someone with Parkinson's, dude, this thing would be going crazy, dude. Just basically kicks by itself. I got these eyes on here. I hit it up on 2 different ones of these. I had a chartreuse and green one that has a chartreuse belly and a green top, and then another one that has a darker color blue top into like a smoky gray body, silver body, which is, if you're familiar with my stuff, that is pretty much the silver haze pattern. And then I got the blunt smoke. I got hit up on that thing. I caught one on one of these that we're making now, the ghost plug. And I caught one on, I don't have it immediately here next to me, but it's like a regular paddle tail swim bait. I call it the Green Lantern. It's like a pearl white mixed with like I think I put like a drop of chartreuse in there. So basically it comes out like a powder green, like a powder white with a hint of like lime green. But here I'm going to switch over. This one is the Joker holographic by 8-bit molds, another 5-gram bottle here, and this is where I do the top, and it gives the illusion of not really like a bloodline where you'd see a stripe, but it's a separation of the two colors. So I guess it is technically a bloodline where the bloodline would be on a fish. It goes from like this Joker color, when it's all said and done, it's like a green, like a kind of like a June bug kind of thing, green, blue. I don't know if you guys can see it when you go live on YouTube. Even if have my nice GoPro like I'm using now, you can only go 1080p when you're live, which sucks. I would love to use my GoPros and go live, but when I'm out fishing, recording for my videos, but then it will only record in 1080p. And I used to record in 5K, but there was no point because YouTube bottlenecks it at 4K. So I just started recording in 4K, but I can't even do that if I go live while I'm fishing. So I would love to be able to go live on my little excursions when I'm smacking bass, but then it renders my ability to make quality content on my long form videos. Hopefully technology for that opens up in the next few years, because then you can be a lot more productive with your creativity. Yeah, schooling fish, dude, they're all there. The biggest one I caught was only like about 18 inches. All schoolies. Usually this time of year it's all the fatties, 24 plus. This year kind of sucked in my area. In certain areas they're running hard, but in my usual spots that I always go to, because it's literally 5 blocks away from my house, I like to pop in and out. I don't like to put in too much energy, you know, because it's pretty exhausting going out there trying to record, trying to stay on the fish, trying to do all this, and when everything's said and done you might get skunked, and then everything I was trying to do to make some content for my page just is out the window, and then I gotta start all over the next time I go out. It's a struggle sometimes, but at least now that I make these lures, there's something else I can do out there besides just try to make, you know, fucking content. At least I can test out my baits. I get something out of it. I can go out there, take professional pictures on some rocks next to the water for my website. Okay, so that's done. These are the skins. The skins are in there. I don't know if you can see any of the holographics, but they are good to go, ready to pour once this is ready. So for this, I do another clear coat. The way this holographic powder works, this stuff is virtually see-through. It's just so vibrant that it looks like it's like a glitter, but it's not really a glitter, it's actually a powder. So when you put it behind clear plastisol, it really pops. I don't know how to explain it. I'm not a scientist. I just watch a lot of YouTube videos. But I'm gonna reheat this, and then we're gonna pour stomach, and then I should be, I'm gonna take this out, save it for later. I'm gonna take these chunks, break it up, it's a lot easier to melt down. Reduces the chances that you'll overcook it trying to get it all into a really thin liquid. But I'm going to use this. This is clear, I believe it was, but it doesn't matter because I just need to add some what is it called? Some pearl white to it to make the back strap and the tail on the baits. The belly's going to be clear, but the back and the tail is going to be white, like a pearl white. So I'll take this out for now. We'll get that going. We'll let these chill, and then before I pour it, I gotta reheat this skillet, get this nice and hot, or else you end up getting deformations when you pour and you take it out, and all that time of hard work to make these two stupid little baits. They still swim good, but I'm not gonna sell them if there's anything wrong with them. I'll just give them away for free when people order. While we're waiting, I'll show you some of this other stuff. Like this is my basic rip wrap mold swim baits. This is like what the green lantern was, but with that green, powder green color I was telling you about. This is what we're making right now, a ghost plug, signature ghost plug. You see imperfection right there, imperfection in the tail. There's a couple little pieces missing. It didn't mold right. These are the problem areas, especially the tail. Give me anxiety. But things like this I just throw for free into orders. You'll still definitely catch fish with them. They'll still swim just as fine. They just look like, what the fuck, why would I pay, you know, for that? So as this is melting, you always got to make sure you can see it's starting to brown there. You got to make sure you're adding your stabilizers in here and mixing it, making sure areas aren't getting too hot. You can see this is reused. There's tons of glitter in there. Probably reused this a few times last night. Kept adding to it. It doesn't matter, it's not gonna hurt. It's just gonna be more popping, you know what I'm saying? So we added that, added a little more stabilizer, continue reheating that until it gets to the heat gun, like around 340. That's a good temperature. In a second here, I'm gonna pop this in. I'm gonna start heating this up. Might as well do that now. Good shit, Salty Ricky, appreciate it. You always, by the way, I don't like to, you know, be overzealous with this, but you're always gonna get free stuff. Like this bag is all like things I throw in for free. And everything I throw in for free, it doesn't mean it's gonna be imperfections. There's a lot of things I just try. Colors that like extra, like look at this bag. This, I have like 3 of these bags. It's all just scraps. I'll save them. I'll make colors, multicolor baits with them. I got dual injectors, so I can do half and half. I just use up my plastics and I'll just throw it in there. So this is like that. I'm gonna add some. Let's turn on this griddle, whatever it's called. I am making pancakes. I don't know if I want to call it a griddle. Skillet. I ain't making eggs and bacon. I don't know if I want to call it a skillet. It's a hot pan. It's a bait pan. That's what it is. I'm going to turn on this bait pan. Damn, Kevin, what's up, dude? How you doing? Just over here, you see how this? It's been reheated so many times. It's starting to turn a little yellow. But it'll be alright because I'm about to spice it up with a bunch of this pearl white here. See how that color pops out? And let's see, this one, diamond white. Might as well put a little bit of this while we're at it. It's probably going to be the last that I use of this. Something like this. See, once it gets like this, I'll throw in a little bit more clear stuff, and I'll just pump it into one of these molds here, and just make, you know, what we all know and love, just a plain pearl white swim bait. You know, you can't go wrong with that. Anybody who fishes striped bass around here knows that a plain pearl white bait is just fine. And where did I put? Oh, that's in there. I'm gonna vacuum chamber this for a second. This thing right here, this is gonna get all the bubbles out, all the stirring bubbles, all the moisture that's gone into the Proceasong. Basically help it so when I pour it, there's no bubbles inside. Once again, it's not gonna affect the mobility of the bait. It's just gonna make a cleaner looking bait. I don't know, you don't go to a store and buy a professional bait that has bubbles in it. It's just not a thing. If you ever see that, you shouldn't be paying a lot for that bait, that's for sure. And I almost forgot about this. So this here, that's there. I'm gonna go ahead and pour this right now. That's just gonna be the belly. You can see a little bit of bubbles on top. You can use a heat gun there, just to pop those little bubbles there. And then once this gets around -30 over here, that's when all the bubbles, if you see in here, it looks like it's boiling right now, but that's just all the bubbles coming up. Go ahead and release that air, and then we'll reheat it for a couple seconds. Turn this skillet on for a second, let that get a little hotter again. This got a little bit cloudy, but it should be fine. With that holographic behind it, it's still gonna look really, really good. It should. The only thing that can mess me up right now is the tail pour. If any bubbles get stuck in there, you're gonna get holes in the tail, or an imperfect tail. So you have to make sure that you get all the bubbles out of this, and you get it a good hot enough to where it's gonna dribble down this tail end and not trap a bubble down there. Oh shit. And then not trap a bubble down there and ruin the tail. I have this thing on a circuit breaker, so for safety purposes, kind of renders my ability to do too much at once, but better safe than sorry. I don't want to blow a fuse or something, whatever it's called, making baits. But you can see this is an imperfected tail here. There's little chunks there. Go ahead and look at this here. Pull off this old stuff, and that's looking pretty hot. So I'm gonna hit this with the heat gun so it sticks good. Turn this skillet on and pour. Look at that pearl white. These are the ghost plugs. So this right here is where I'm going to want to throw my mask back on for sure. And I'm going to let this skillet heat up really, really hot to make sure. I also kind of want to do this. I'm gonna let this heat up really, really hot so everything inside is so hot that these plastics really fill in that area. Hopefully don't have any issues. This gives me anxiety every time. I'm still trying. I've only been doing this for like 2 weeks now, but I've been learning a lot. And things are going very well, but there's a lot of different variables that cause these things to get messed up. I'm trying to pinpoint a lot of these issues. Let me throw my mask on real quick. So what you always have to remember is this plastic starts melting at after 300 degrees, like 300, 340. So I'm checking the side of this, the top, it's at 380, 400, 370. I really want to make sure that this tail melts, and then even if it does melt, if there's a bubble trapped in there, then you're just screwed. If that bubble didn't make it to the top, which no bubbles came up in these areas, the tail areas, so if there is a bubble, it got trapped in there, and it's going to cause the bait to come out like this. I don't know if you guys can see it with these little chunks on the left and right corners. And I just dipped my finger in that expensive powder. That's like $1 right there. Son of a bitch. Look at that. I just got my nails did. Dang, Ghost Plug, dude, or Ghost Plug. NorCal 808, thank you very much, dude. Yeah, I had my first Dungy of the season. My buddy dropped it off. I didn't catch it myself, but his boys went on a charter, like 5 of them. They all caught limits, and a few of them didn't even want them, so they all gave them to one guy. And that guy gave my boy like 10 of them, and he gave me 2 of them. So these have to cool down. They should be hot enough now. Man, look at that. Look at all that expensive powder. That's another like $1 right there. And then while that's going, I need some more small fucking things. I need to make blunt smokes for this guy. So I'm gonna use these bigger things here. The only thing is the surface area on these bigger cups. It cools off faster, for one, and for two, these injectors need to go deep, so it makes it more shallow. When it's a smaller one like this, the liquid is obviously raised higher because of the base of the whole cup is smaller in diameter or circumference, whatever. But I don't know. I guess I'll just do it because I gotta wait for this for like 15 minutes anyway. So we're gonna start on a blunt smoke color. I'm gonna clear out these injectors. And you know what? This is where these things come in handy. I'm gonna reuse some of the same color kind of stuff from some of my other things, like these brown ones, and we'll melt them down. Look at that one. That's a good chunk of good stuff there. And this stuff is good to reuse as long as you're not burning it. If you overcook this stuff, it's just gonna smell way too strong. But as long as it's always been handled appropriately, it's fine to reuse all of it. So we'll heat that up. Let's see, maybe I'll need a little bit more. Put some of this old green stuff in there, and that'll be fine. And see, I'm gonna reuse this in there. Some of this in there, as long as it's not too dark. This stuff should be fine. If you take that brown out, this little piece from the knife. And I love reusing this stuff too because it works out so well as long as you're doing it with the right kind of colors and stuff. We'll use these little nodes, whatever they're called, from the other white swim baits that we made. And you'll see these things will still come out beautiful. Alright, let's heat these up. It's the only thing about these, it takes so long. You just need more molds. The more molds you have, the more production you can do in shorter time. And if I had 1,000,000 molds, virtually, if I wasn't greedy, I'd be able to charge, you know, $4 for like 8 of these things, and it wouldn't even be that big of a deal. I'm going to go ahead and move this stuff off of the plate. I need to get this little piece out of here. Damn. There we go. Heat these up. Yeah, I'm actually working on the last 3 orders I have on the list right now. Or Eric, did I send yours out already? I think I might have sent yours today. Did you get a tracking today? I think I did yours last night and sent it today. This one's smoking a little too much, but I don't have to worry about it because it's super dark. Eric, I'm trying to remember. You still didn't get yours yet? It says arrived, Eric. It says your item was delivered. Eric Santiago. Your order says it's delivered, dude. I don't know why I didn't send you tracking. Check your mailbox. I sent that out a few days ago. Yeah, when you ordered on Wednesday, I think I sent that out 2 days ago, maybe 3 days ago, and I think it arrived yesterday. Check it when you get home. If you have an issue with it, let me know, but tracking says it got delivered. So we're just gonna vacuum chamber this, heat all this stuff up. I gotta clean this thing out. Man, I just learned something. Don't let these things sit. They get sticky and stuck in here. Alright, we're getting just about ready once this all gets heated up. You can see how clean this gets after vacuuming it. So I just have to reheat that up a little bit. It stays pretty hot while it's in the vacuum chamber. I don't know, science. I don't know, it's in a vacuum. Ooh. But now I just need to heat it up and then stir it gently. Make sure I don't recreate any of these bubbles, which aren't too big of a problem stirring bubbles in these because they're so hot the bubbles rise up. It's more the open pore molds inside the tail where they get trapped. These aren't open pore, these are injection molds. So we're going to do a batch of the hollow points and a batch of just regular swim baits. You can tell when it's hot enough because when you take it out, you can see the liquid moving. I don't know if you can see it. So the more hot this liquid is when you inject it, the more it's going to fuse together. The thicker it is and more cooled down it is when you inject it, the more of a defined separation of the two colors you're going to have. Obviously if it's thin, it's gonna blend together a little more, give it more of a blended look. I like a mix in between the two, not too blended, not too defined, just for that more real looking style. But let's inject this. So I think I probably botched these. I've never done a double dip like that, done one and then went straight to the other, because it cools off really fast. I really should have just stopped, reheated this for a second, cleaned these out, and then did the second one. But for testing purposes, I'm doing it. I don't care. I think these two came out good. I think I'm going to see issues with these first two on the hollow tips. But it's okay. If they come out not too bad, it would just be free stuff for people. But then now that these are here, we can go back to the original baits we were making and get those out of the mold. Pretty hot. Let's temp this really quick. This one's really hot. Getting up there. It's in the 300s. Once it gets to like 330, I'll get it off. $340. Okay. Turn this off. We'll get this out of here. We'll get these other molds out. So I don't know if you guys seen me do this before, but I just use this metal here to trim the edges around. And then after I clean it up with the heat gun, these I can just throw in there. Man, it's getting hot in here, dude. So that's that right there. Just like that. And then this is kind of hot. I think it'll be okay though. I'll use the heat gun. And first I'll go for the tail. You can see the uncleanliness of it after I shredded those edges off. I mean, it's pretty clean for how how I was doing it, you know, just with the edge of an old box cutter. But we'll make that nice and clean. No matter how it is, I'll be able to clean it up with this gun. This gun really rounds things out at the end. And it always looks so nice. This part, just really, I don't know if you guys can see this. It's getting a little too hot to hold, but it always looks so nice, so plump, so perfect. And I just have so much anxiety that when everything's said and done, I'm going to open it and there's going to be an unsymmetrical tail. All that work for these two little baits. If this shit is not good, I'm done. We'll let that cool off for a minute while I do this one. Extra stuff can go in there. It's not good. I mean, it's good. It's not burnt. I encourage anyone, if you buy a lot of swim baits, to invest a little bit of money, even if you don't want to like sell them or mass produce them. You get a gallon of Plastisol, the cheap stuff from Amazon. I use better stuff. It's free of a lot of the bad toxins and stuff, but if you just wanted to do it for yourself and you're not going to be doing it all the time or selling it, Amazon, like 40-50 bucks for a gallon. A gallon is like this. And get an open pore mold, and then you don't even need an injector. And these molds are I like these way better than the injector molds. They come out so good, they swim so well. There's so many different molds you can buy. This one in particular is the Jackhammer by Epic Molds. It's a 4-inch jackhammer. But you have unlimited baits, dude. Like this one bait, if I was working only for myself, these two that I just made are gonna last me so long. Like, I've never used it, but like soft bait glue, when fish start ripping it up by where the hook comes out, you just put some of that soft bait glue and fix it. You can run these things forever. And you, with 1 gallon of Plastisol and a couple colors and glitters, you'd be set for life, honestly, really. And by the time everything was said and done, you'd be a professional. And you would know exactly what you need to buy and how to spend the least amount of money to get what you want. I really hope these are going to pop out okay. It looks really good from the top. Nice, plump, rounded. Okay. Good luck, Chuck. So, I'm gonna go ahead and open this one here. I'm gonna drop one drop of worm oil on top and just rub that across. It's a moment of truth right here. Pray for me, you guys. I really need to just finish this order. Of course, it's still too hot. Give me 1 second here. I can see the tail. It looks okay so far. Here we go. Pray for me. This side looks good. This side looks good. Usually the other side will be good. If one side, look at that. Look at that. That's a ghost bug right there. Let's pop this out. Moment of truth. Oh, oh, kill him. Came out perfect. Holographic perfect. Check that out. Man, just got that little excess that seeped through. That's nothing. Just do a little bit of this action there. Man, there you go. That right there is an order for Miguel. Fish from hell. Cartel fishing. Look at that back strap on that thing. It looks so good. I don't know how good you guys can see this, but in person, this thing is try to do slow-mo up here for you guys. With this 1080p and this angle, kind of want to move this camera a little bit. Let's see if that helps. I have a light here. Let's do that. Maybe this will do something. That sparkle blue in there with that white back strap. It's almost like a mohawk on that thing. Perfect tail. That's a really good bait. That's a ghost bug right there. So when you have these, you want to turn them upside down, lay them flat, let them cure. They say for at least 24 hours. Basically, if you pull them out and they're too hot and they're all bent and you throw them in a pile and they're like this, when everything's said and done, they could possibly be stuck like this. With like a little kink in it. So you definitely don't want that. You want to lay them out flat on their back like this. I like to pull the tail out a little bit, stretch it out, and I'll lay it out like that, just flat. But that is a good bait. That's gonna last a really long time unless some fish rips the shit out of it. So we'll put that to the side. We'll go ahead and open the next one. If you guys can see the top of my computer monitors, I just have them all. They're all, I'm not even gonna move my camera right now, but I have them all. They're all, oh yeah, you can see it. Goes to my second monitor too. I got all these things laid out on top. Sorry for the mess. I got all my bait making shit sprayed out everywhere. Ooh. So this is the cool part. We get to open everything now. It's like Christmas. By the time I'm done with that, I can open up the other ones. Hot. I'm gonna get my gloves so I can be more gentle. They worry me, dude. Every time I open them, it's get anxiety. Oh, that side looks good. No bubble. I think that's the trick. When I pour it, make sure it's hot enough and make sure I let it sit and temp the actual mold, and don't stop it until it gets to at least 350 degrees, and then let it cool down naturally before I put it off to the side. See, we got some excess here, just pull that off. There's another one. It's another perfect. I don't know if you guys can catch that glare like I can. But in the natural sunlight, this thing is yellow, red, blue, green. You can go to the website, check it out. You ain't gotta buy anything, but if you really want to have a look at it, I got some good videos of what these really look like in person. It's just really something to look at. They're beautiful baits. So once again, I'll set this to the side here, put it down here so you guys can get a good look. It's like a rainbow, man. And I'll put these here. I'm going to grab the other injection molds and we'll see how those came out. So this is the injection. I'm pretty sure these ones came out just fine. It's those hollow tips that I'm worried about. And of course it was so hot. They're sticking pretty good. Okay, moment of truth. Things are sticking pretty good. Looking okay so far. These ones I rarely have issues with. This one is from Angling AI. It's a 3.8 inch riprap. But look how these came out. Oh yeah, we'll cut them off and get a better look at them. But these came out just great. These are the blunt smoke pattern. I got them in multiple different kinds of baits, but these are the blunt smoke pattern in the regular. These are actually 4-inch swim baits, sorry. The other one that I'm about to open is a 3.7-inch Henchman from Fat Guys Fishing. Got a little black speck there, but I'm not too worried about that. It's coming off. So here I use a razor blade. I got a little nick there, but that's not bad. That's coming off. Just like that. And throw these straight back into the container with this other stuff. But let's cut one off. Let's have a look at it. Okay, and this one has a little leaking on here, but it's alright. All this stuff rubs off. Check that out right there. This camera over here. Just for the show game here, put a little drop of worm oil on here. This thing's got to be rubbed off, these little extra plastics here. But here we go. That's the blunt smoke pattern. You can see that little swirl there. And it's brown obviously on the top, like a blunt. But these came out good. Let's cut the rest. These next ones, I don't know so much. Oh, my bad, Eric. I just saw that. I don't know about this weekend. I'm pretty busy on the weekends, but they're here. Those king tides brought in a bunch of them. I got on a school of them, and I was catching on a bunch of my baits. Yesterday morning, I was gonna go back out this morning, but it was raining pretty decent when I had time. I had to go to work at 11. I was trying to get out there at 7 a.m., but it was raining, and I didn't want to deal with the rain before work. Usually I don't give a fuck. If I'm not working, I'll be out there in the rain. I don't mind that at all. I'm standing in the water anyway in waders. But there we go. And even these, like, this is from the heat, but these little imperfections where it got blotchy there, I love that. It just adds to the reason why it's called a blunt smoke. Those little swirls, look at that. The individuality of every little piece, I really like that. Versus going into a store and buying just an all solid color bait. And let's go open these last ones here. A little worried about these ones though, not gonna lie. This order actually is for a raffle winner who coincidentally actually bought baits. I feel kind of bad. He went out and bought my baits, and then a few days later I did the raffle and he happened to be the winner. So I'm just gonna give him extra stuff. Oh wow, these actually, there has to be something wrong with them somewhere. Let's see. Well, first of all, you can see it came out uneven because the temperature, I didn't let them cool. But now I know I'm never gonna do that again. This one's missing a little chunk. Came out like a little albino. This one is straight hollow in there. I'm just gonna rip this one up. I really like these though. Look at what it could have been. Ooh. Yeah, I'm never gonna do that again. Just go straight from filling up on top of after squirting a mold and refilling it right away. But you gotta make mistakes to learn, right? This one came out pretty decent. There's a little bubble hole there, but I'm not mad at it. I fished with these. I caught 2 fish on them yesterday, one with a blue and silver one and one with a chartreuse and green one. That little hole is not going to affect that anything at all. This thing is so light. It shoots through the water. I use a darter jig head on this thing and it goes crazy. It like darts around, like it looks like it's doing backflips and stuff. When you go from one direction and switch to this direction, it looks like it does a whoosh. It's so wild. You can work the shit out of these. And then I put these little eyes on here like this. I glue the eyes on, or I stick them on, and then I take clear plastisol and heat it up, and I dip the whole thing so these eyes are straight locked in here. I caught a few fish on them, didn't do anything to them. Those eyeballs aren't going anywhere. They have a layer of hot plastisol that melted over it. That's why I call them hollow tips. And they're light, but they're deadly, like a hollow tip. Last one here. I was originally gonna call these things French fries, just because they're nice and, I don't know, they're like little French fries. But I didn't want to detour the people away from their ability to catch decent sized fish. French fries kind of sounds a little weak to me. Hollow tip is more suiting. Small but deadly. There's one that came out perfect, and I kind of like how they came out. this is all because the imperfections in the heat of the white one, I think, was obviously hotter than the brown one in most cases. But I got 3 decent ones out of that, out of 4. I think I'm happy with it. This one is missing a little chunk, but I think that's alright. And then we can glue eyes on these later. And that's kind of cool. I wouldn't mind if I got a pack of baits and they were all, you know, the same color theme, but individual like that. That's pretty cool. It makes it just look more authentic. And I really want to, I can show you guys how I plug these eyes on here. For that, I'll just heat up some more Proceasong here. Go ahead and shake that up good. I'll just put a little bit to start. We'll use it for the skin on our next baits. This stuff looks like milk. It makes me want to go to the kitchen and get some cookies. And we'll put some eyes on these things. These are the eyes here. So first we just pop them on, just like that, and look how alive that thing became. It's no longer just a French fry. It is now a hollow tip. These things are killer, dude. If you ever fish with one, it's so easy to control in the water. I can't wait to try this out on the coast. But right there, and then that little pocket that didn't fill in behind the eyes, that's gonna get filled right now when I dip this thing in the Proceasong. So you see when you heat it up, once it starts getting to 100, this stuff starts getting clear. And then you're gonna want to put, you can put a little softener in it. You should put a couple drops of stabilizer so it doesn't burn. And then I'm just gonna throw this in the microwave for just another couple seconds, just like maybe 10 seconds, and then it should be good to dip. I don't need to vacuum this because I'm not going to be pouring it into a bait yet. I'm just using it to dip these heads in and lock this in. Yeah, man, I can't wait. Friday I'm gonna go, Friday morning, but the king tides is what really caught all the fish, brought all those things in. Hopefully they're still around, but because I don't really care about catching the fish anymore as much as I care about certifying these baits and making sure they can catch fish. And I already certified this one, but I just want to go crazy with it because these things are fun. The fish just inhale these things, and the ribs on these, they're so like lightweight and ribbed. This tail is just so wacky on them. And you know what? I think I'm going to do something special with this one. I'm going to turn this into a little idea I had the other night. I'll show you guys in 1 second. Let's get these eyes just on this last one here. I'm going to take just the head of that white one and I'm going to paint holographics on it. And then I'm going to seal it in there with this dip of Proceasong. Since it's on that white, it's going to show pretty good. Okay, we'll do that. Another 5-10 seconds in there, and then we're going to be good to go. I'm just gonna take this, tilt the cup, go all the way down there into that hot stuff, and it's dripping, so I have to bend it up and then wipe it off just like that, and then I hang it up here. You guys can't see that, but I have it dangling like this over a couple prongs. We'll do that again here to this one. We're locking in the eyes here. Dip. Let it drip off. Let it run down the side. Rub it off so it doesn't leave a little lump on it. And if it does, you can just use a lighter or a torch to melt it down. Not the heat gun, because that's just gonna melt down the whole bait. But look at how alive these things became. They went from this, which this thing looks pretty good too, to that with eyes. So we gotta hang this guy up to dry, and then I'm gonna take these. This is the holographic powders, the expensive hollow powders I was using earlier. And I'm gonna take this guy's head. I got his eyes on here right now. And let's see, what do I want? Let's do red on the sides. And we'll go all the way back. You see how that holographic comes in there? I don't know if you guys can pick that up. But I'm going to do red on the sides. And you know what, let me open this. And I really wanted to try this. This is one. This is the one I want. I really wanted to take this out. After catching them on these things the other day with nothing, just chartreuse and green, I had an epiphany. Why don't I just paint this? I'm already dipping it to lock these eyes in. Why don't I just paint these things and then dip it? And I can do these with all my baits. I started thinking about that, and then I'm like, why don't I just make it an add-on? I can call it like a swim cap or something. I don't know if you guys can see how it's like yellow, red. I'm going to do that to the other side, and then I'm going to paint the top and bottom a different kind of holographic. But you gotta keep this kind of warm. Don't want to have to reheat it too much. I can't wait to try this out there. If they were hitting just the ones without this, because this powder, I don't know if any of you guys are still in here that's seen my other baits or fishing with the other baits, how they swim and how when you pop them they literally flash like a real fish, super hard, because it catches the sun. So we'll do that, and this head is just gonna go crazy. Now I'm gonna grab this green one. Look at that. Oh yeah. Put a swim cap on that boy. This guy's gonna look like a little orc from Lord of the Rings. Okay, let's heat this up down here. Can't wait to see the final product of this. Alright, let's do it. This is gonna be sick, dude. Man, I don't know if you guys can see this on the camera, but it's yellow, green, pink. That's crazy. Okay, I think this is good enough. Kind of getting it too hot here. Check it out, here we go. Make sure I get this good. It's good enough. Man, here we go. Put a swim cap on that bitch. So here's a normal one. Oh, this is also a swim cap. This is the one I messed with last night. But that's nothing like what I just did. Look at that. You guys can't even really see how holographic. I'm looking at the stream and it doesn't look anything like what I see. Gotta wait for the stream to catch up. I want to see. Oh yeah, you guys definitely can't see this. It's glaring, but you guys can't really see it. You'll see it one day in my videos. I'm gonna go back out on Friday and I'm gonna definitely throw this thing around. I'll take a picture with it. It just doesn't look that professional yet. I need to come up with like a color scheme that works with it to make it look more natural. Maybe like a, I don't know, that just, it does look sick though. If I can make the whole thing look like that. The only problem is the skin technique. You need an open pore mold for that. These aren't open pore. There we go. Swim cap, hollow tip. But I'm gonna try to do one more. I don't know if I'm gonna stay live or not. I might just stop talking and try to jam this out real quick. I need 2 more ghost plugs. Yo, what up, Huey, dude? Good to see you in here, bro. I'm gonna reheat this. I need to make 2 more ghost plugs to get this order complete. Huey, if you're still in here, I want to send you some baits, dude. I need you to try these things where you're at. They've been working over here, but it seems like you catch a lot of fish. I want you to throw these things out there. It's been shit until the king tides the other day for me. I mean, certain areas are good. Areas that I don't really go to, I just stick to where's near my house because I don't like to move around too much. I like to kind of just go in and out. But I know areas that have been good. It's mostly like the sloughs that are being fed around here, um, stuff like that, and nighttime. Nighttime is like key. The night bite has been where it's at. Nighttime is always good, but you know, you can't film at night, so I kind of I used to love going out at nighttime. But then once I started making videos, I can't film, and I know it sounds petty or whatever, but I mean, you make videos, you know how it is. You can't get any content at night. So during the day, it's been pretty bad. In the mornings, like I like to go, I've been seeing a lot of them, but they're jumping like crazy, knocking all this bait fish out of the water, but they're just too far with my waders. I can't get on them. With a kayak, I think people were doing okay, but it was still slow all the way down here in my area. But those king tides yesterday and today brought them in. I caught 4 yesterday in like an hour and a half on 4 different of these lures, on some of these little hollow tip ones that I'm using. Oh, that thing didn't get an eye on it. But on the ghost plug and some other ones that I've been making here, so that was cool. That video is going to be out on Friday. But other than that, it's been pretty slow. How about you, dude? It's been alright over there? I really want to send you some of these baits, dude. If you want to message me on like Instagram or something so I can get your shipping, I'll send you some of this shit. I want you to try it over there. Oh man, I just fucked up. Damn it. What a waste. What a waste. So that got hot way too fast. You can't breathe that in. That's bad for you. What a waste of plastisol that was. I waited way too long for that. Yeah, dude, I don't know what kind of lights you got, but it's still hard, you know what I mean? Unless you're catching fish right in front of you, it's just really hard to film. Man, I just burnt the shit out of that plastic, dude. It's all bad. But yeah, dude, hit me up so I can send you some shit. Yeah, I bet. It's pretty late in the season now. Have a good one, bro.
Gets up slowly and you don't know whether he's okay. And then he's out there celebrating when they get a touchdown. So both Trent Williams, Spencer Gorford, Jake Tonjes, they all said, yeah, this scares us a little bit because it doesn't look like he's going to get up. And then he bounces up and then he's happy again. But I mean, they can't say enough about his toughness and playing through his injuries. And while he's gotten hit in the backfield, he still pops up and has a great attitude. And yes, that was presumably the multi positions. So, yeah, Mac Jones, I think, is probably one of the best acquisitions of corners during the offseason because they have needed him. I mean, look at some of the other teams across the league that have a backup that's in right now and is not playing. I mean, Mac Jones has done a nice job going in there and getting more into the team because cornerbacks, you don't see performances like this one.
Yeah, I think you said it yourself like a really nice one with these guys. I mean, kind of deep and battered and on this day bloody as well.
Yeah.
Just kind of hit to the nose and he looked like a prize fighter.
It should have been a big call. So the hand was
Douglas Matos and also Michael Williams. The question is, how does that impact what John Lynch does before the trading deadline on Tuesday at rugby?
I mean, I would think that they would need to get another body in at least, right, at defensive line. These are those Matos and Michael Williams both being unable to play for weeks, if not, longer for Michael. We've got to have more bodies. I mean, just numbers wise. I don't know whether it's going to be someone who is a name that, a big name. They obviously aren't going to make it a rental. They're not going to do bringing a guy that's costs a lot of money for just the rest of the season. They want it to make sense for the future, right? Or do they have to do that?
Well, I don't think they do. But if they stick to that, which I think is the right play, it really limits their options.
Right.
We were just talking on the post-game live about, all these reports that the commanders are, calling around about Trey Hendrickson or Jalen Phillips. And, I looked up those guys' contracts, and guess what? They're only signed for this season.
Right.
I mean, what good does it do them? I just don't. I mean, I understand they're 6-3, and they're very much in the playoff hunt, but I just don't think it is wise for them to really even consider giving up something significant for the future to acquire a player who's only going to be a half-season rental.
49ers Time is brought to you by your locally owned Big O Tire, the team you trust.
This is Jess, Peloton instructor, educator, game changer. She needs her money to work as hard as she does. That's why she uses US Bank Smartly checking and savings, which does exactly that, helping her track her spending and grow her money. Together, we'll achieve more than any of us could alone. You got this, Jess.
We got this.
That's the power of Jess, and this is the power of us.
Here's the good thing. I still think the 49ers have so many deficiencies with their defensive line, and just they lack juice in getting after the quarterback. But on this day, I thought they really tied it together. The back game covered very well. I thought the stat had a good game. That kid was all over the place. I think all the defensive backs by and large played very well. Now Mustafa, Jair Brown. So it was just a much better, much cleaner defensive performance than they showed the week before against the Texans.
Right, and this is not a defense that has had a lot of passes broken up. And Tatum Bethune broke up one, Ronaldo Green broke up two, Jair Brown broke up one. We haven't seen a whole lot of PBUs, and so it was nice to see that from this group. It's been a work in progress. I spoke to our friend Tim Ryan before the game. He was like, these guys are just young, and they aren't playing within their job. And so when they actually play disciplined football, this is what happens. I think looking at what Robert Saleh tried to do last week with trying to switch up pressures and trying to add too much to the plate of these new players, I think he kept it more simple this week. And when you look at how, Jair Brown is young, this is new for Taylor Bethune. He's only going to get better as he keeps going. There's so many young players on this defense. So for them to keep it more simple, I think makes much more sense. I think he was trying to do a little bit too much to try and create pressure last week, and that's where it kind of got a little jumbled.
Yeah. Speaking of the young guys, there was a guy who made a catch on the very first drive, and it ended up, helping move on the field. Jordan Walker, rookie from Ole Miss, 4th-round draft pick.
Yes.
And he's the guy that I think once he got on the field last week against Houston, And I know people keep calling it a drop. I don't know if it was a drop as much. It was he failed to make a difficult catch in that game against Houston. But I think that now once they've kind of opened the door for him to see more action on offense, he gives the offense something that they don't have from some of these other guys. And the also that some of these other guys don't have is that he's going to be here next year and the year after and the year after that. So when you have a he's already had, 8, 9 games where he's a lot of guys. And you're building on something rather than basically having a second rookie season.
Right, because guys like Juwan Jennings might not be back in the team. Kendrick Bourne is on a 1-year deal. So DeMarcus Robinson, how long is he going to be around? Yes, they need to keep these young guys going. It's been unfortunate for them to not have the Pearsall to continue his kind of growth and acclimation to the NFL. But that catch by Jordan Watkins, he was holding on for dear life. If he had given up on that pass at all, it would have turned into an interception. So the effort there, I think, says a lot. Speaks volumes to guys like Kyle Shanahan who watched it. It was a tough catch.
Yeah, if someone were to ask me, name 2 wide receivers who we know for sure are going to be on the team next year, it's Ricky Pearsall and Jordan Watkins.
Right.
It's nobody else. I mean, it's not that any of those other guys won't be on the team, but those are the 2 that you know for sure. And that includes Brandon Ayuk, Juwan Jennings, and Kendrick Bourne, and DeMarcus Robinson. The Bears made a lineup change on their offensive line. What do you know about that?
Yes, Spencer Burford started right next to Trent Williams, and I think, reading between the lines, I know they all really like Connor Colby, but he was overlooked. Trent Williams' first answer to me when I asked about having Spencer Burford next to me, he's like, man, can't say enough for experience. So, it's again, like I said, for the wide receivers, it's also really tough for offensive linemen to acclimate to Kyle Shanahan's offense because it's so timing-based. And I had a really nice conversation with Trent Williams this week where he said it's just, a slight alignment change by the defensive lineman in front of you that changes your job. So I would think for Connor Colby, it's a lot. And Spencer Burford being next to him, and I know there's a lot of motivation for Spencer Burford. You look at all of the 49ers offensive linemen that are at the end of their contract, how much money they've made, that's where Spencer Burford is now. So he's very, very motivated to put a lot of good game film on out there so that he can be the next guy who makes a ton of money after leaving the 49ers if he does leave, or if he stays with the 49ers to have him be there. Ben Barch has done a great job, and I think they really, really like him, but can he stay healthy? Spencer Burford might be a guy that they can say, hey, we wrap him up now for the future, and then we've got a left guard that can play next 2 games.
49ers Time is brought to you by your locally owned Big O Time, the team you trust.
Tighten up. Hustle harder. Go the extra mile? Nope. Pass that. Because good enough isn't enough. Make every play, move, and drive count. Then, once you see red, you know.
It's go time.
Proud partner of the San Francisco 49ers. Toyota. Let's go places.
Dude, Matt Mayoko is everything.
He's in the practice field, he's in the locker room, he's on all the ads. I just need rid of him.
He's always the 49ers Talk podcast.
And now he's joining us in studio, 49ers 351.
I swear that guy covers more ground than you.
I don't know.
Matt Mayoko is everywhere. Complete 49ers coverage on NBC Sports Bay Area. Gives my dad, my mom. Now we gotta talk about this.
Hi, it's a great story. Ray Barlow. I think he's the head of the dictionary. It's Kevin. Kevin Nealon from SNL. I also have the most popular hiking show on YouTube. We just need to chat with him about changing the definition of tip eye. Okay, so I'll just wait for him to call back. Okay. Well, until then, take a hike.
Milestone anniversary here at KNTV.
70 years of breaking news.
We continue our breaking news coverage. 70 years of starting your morning with a smile.
70 years of finding the facts.
What was the answer here?
There are several things you're going to need to know.
70 years.
Now that's what we call a winning streak. And it's a privilege and honor to work with you.
Yo, thank you, Salty Ricky. I appreciate that. Here we go. I think I'm safe for now. I'm gonna cut this open here. Cut all this off while that's cooling. Check out how these ghost plugs came through. Man, those Warriors got whooped tonight. They whooped themselves. Really hoping this mold wasn't too hot. Mess up the holographic skin that I made on it. Need to get some more of these molds so I can do like 10 at a time. Wouldn't that be nice? Little black speck on there. Got him. If you guys are just joining, you want to see what these do, you can check out my page if you haven't already. Went out yesterday and caught 4 stripers on 4 different kinds of these. I'm really hoping these didn't get too hot. We'll find out right now. I heated that mold up pretty good. Still learning how to execute perfectly every time. As good as it looks, you never know when you're going to open it up. And that holographic might have sunken into the bait. Of course, the bait's still going to be good, but the holographic itself, we'll find out. Just going to rub some of this on there. We'll get this opened up right now. We'll see how we did. Still going at it, dude. What's going on, Alex? I'm grinding, bro. I got orders, dude. I ain't gonna make these people wait too long for them. Come on, tail. Good. Come on, holographic. Good enough. I think it sunk in a little bit. Actually, that's looking pretty decent. Let's get this tail out of here. Tail's good. This is for, oh yeah, that's looking delish. Ooh, that's a good bait right there. That sparkle blue in there. I don't know, you guys can't see it like I can see it. You can check out the page if you haven't seen these already. The BayAreaPlug.com, where you can look at my last video and see me catching with them. But that is so holographic. You can see it shining on here, but man, that is one of my best ones yet. Alright. Shout out Miguel. That's going to complete his order, I think. Oh wait, actually, I got a bunch of other stuff I need to throw in for him, because he won the raffle. If you guys are in here, I'm posting a video, hopefully on Friday. I'm going to be doing another free raffle. So check out the video. There's going to be a code word in there. You just comment that, and I'll send you this stuff for free. I'll tell you right now, the code word is the name of these baits. These new baits here, which is hollow tips. Doesn't matter now because you're gonna have to comment it in the video. But when you see that new video pop up, just comment hollow tips, which is the name of this new little bait that I caught a bunch of striped bass on yesterday. I'll make some good ones. I caught on chartreuse and green on those things. But when you see that video post, so just leave that comment, hollow tips, and you'll enter the raffle to win a bunch of those for free, amongst a bunch of other things. Let's see how this one came out. Knock on wood. Oh, come on. Tail check. Good. Holographic check. Delicious. Oh, get out of there. There we go. These are beautiful baits. Man, I want to fish with these ones. These came out really good. So many different colors on this white swim bait. Lace it up with some warm oil on the back. These ones, rock fishing, these can be for rock fishing, but I catch striped bass with all of these. But this will be really good for rock fishing. But the only thing is, if you're thinking about going for lingcod, you can catch them, but they're a little small. These will pick up like good sized rockfish. It's only 4 inches. Lingcod, you probably want like a 5-inch, but I'm gonna get a mold for that soon. But jeez, dude, this bait looks so good. Yeah, I'm catching striped bass on these and on these. These are the hollow tips. I'm catching them on my regular, like these right here. I caught one on this, but with the green lantern color. You can see it on my website. It's like this, but like a teal, smoky light green. I caught them on these. These are the blunt pattern on the regular swim baits. All of these hit pretty good. You know, striped bass fishing, they're pretty aggressive. But these ones, dude, these hollow tips, this one doesn't have eyes on it yet. I gotta put them on there. But these are so good. These are gonna be hitters. Look at this tail. These things go, dude. I'm telling you. I am telling you. Wait for that video to drop on Friday. You'll see what I'm talking about. And then I'm gonna go, we can open this one up probably. This might be the last one of the night. It's getting late. I got work in the morning. But at least I was able to complete a couple orders. Still a little hot. I'm gonna throw my gloves on for this one. Hopefully this thing didn't stick together. This is a hollow tip that I just used the rest of this pearl white. Maybe I'll put some eyes on this one before I go to bed. But oh yeah, there we go. These ones came out. Why does that last one always come out hollow? I think I'm shooting blanks, dude. Look at that. This one I'm gonna just rip up. This is going back into the batch of white. Which lead heads do I use? For these little ones, anything that's small, these are 3.7s. Anything this size, I like to use. Why did that not fill all the way there? I like to use darter jig heads, the little cone ones, in size 1/4. These things with that cone shaped lead on the jig heads, they like, it's so easy to control them. You can manipulate them however you want. The way I like to fish, I like to be able to jig it around and jerk them. But here's that. You can see that. Probably can't see it in this 1080p, but that blue sparkle in there. This one just has a hollow air bubble in there, which sucks. I'm gonna keep it. I'll save it for a rainy day. I'll throw it as some extra baits when somebody buys something. These imperfected ones, I always just throw them in free stuff. It's looking good. Is that blue eyes, white dragon, soft plastic? I'm not sure which one you're talking about. Blue eyes, white dragon. Looking around, I'm not exactly sure what you're talking about. What you see, blue eyes, white dragon, soft plastic. If you're talking about this one, all of these are soft plastic around me. I don't have any jerk baits or anything at the moment around me. These ones came out really good though. Oh. I never got into Yu-Gi-Oh, dude. I was a Pokemon guy. God, and do I have enough to do one more shoot? I might. I think I might just throw in some of this extra stuff right here and shoot one more before I go to bed. Might as well use up these plastics here. So I'll turn this on here. Ah, fucking hot. The mold's already pretty hot. Probably, dude. I live like 5 blocks away. I'm like always there. Not always. I mean, I work full time, but whenever I fish, I go there. Probably twice a week. Always early in the morning. I get there right at sunrise usually. What area were you in? What part were you fishing? Smelt this last batch down here. You don't fish the bay often? What, you just went there and started plugging around? Were you throwing lures or what? If you live close by, that's a really good spot to fish at. You know what? Maybe I'll dump these. What should I do? Maybe I'll make a little injection mold. I mean, a normal mold. I'll do one injection, and then I'll dump everything that's left inside these things. I'll just throw them in people's orders as free shit. That's where we're opposites. I don't fish the surf that much, but I fish the bay a lot. I wouldn't even say a lot of the bay, just kind of coyote in the same spots. I'm just, I've lived here my whole life. I'm very familiar with the tides in that area and where the fish will be at certain tides and certain times of the year, where the bait's gonna be. Yeah, it's rough, dude. King tides, but the king tides brought in all the fish to my area. I went out there yesterday and got 4 of them. Where's mine? And I let that get pretty hot. It's a pretty liquidy mold right there. This thing's gonna come out funky. I think I'm gonna have to spruce it up a little bit. It's lost its color. If I use the dual injection with a different color, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. This one's gonna come out like that green lantern, actually. Well, I'm gonna hit that. I'm gonna hit that into this mold. Let's do that. But this will be a perfect green lantern. Yeah, the water level was super high. It was 8.5 feet, which is like 1.5 to 2 feet higher than it normally is. 3 feet higher than it is when it's a lower high tide. It was pretty high. I'm gonna put some shrimps in these ones. All right, let's shoot it. Oh no. I hate it when that happens. Damn it. Do I have enough in here to do a... Melt down just throw a few of these in here. We'll make like a quick little concoction. For these open pores, we'll leave this one alone for now. I like 3/4. 3/4 isn't bad, but I usually don't go that high. I go 3/8, and then 1/2 sometimes. But I usually do all that kind of stuff on the coast when I go that high. Over in the bay, I usually am only using 3/8 or 1/4. See what color this makes. Now I'm just reusing this old stuff so I can end my night with some we'll fill up these little molds here. It's a pretty hot pour here. It's kind of cool. We'll see what happens. There's a lot of bubbles in there rising to the top. I didn't vacuum chamber that or nothing. It's different, dude. I have different tides for different tides for different times, or different places for different tides. I always like to go as close as I can to sunrise, but where I go depends on what the tide is at sunrise, if that makes sense. This shit is gonna be a straight bubble bait, dude. There's so many little microscopic bubbles in it. Look at this. It's a lot. Wish I. Maybe I'll do one more squirt. Just use up the rest of this. Oh, you know what I did? I put hella shrimp fucking scent in there. And then I didn't vacuum chamber it, that's why. Alright, I think I'm just gonna let these ones chill overnight. But if you're still here, thank you for watching. I'll be back. If you want to check it out, thebayareaplug.com. And I gotta get out of here. It's getting smoky. I don't got my mask on. I'll let these cure for a little bit, but stay tuned Friday. I got a free giveaway, free raffle. Comment hollow tip in the video when it does pop up, and you can win some of these things for free. But thank you guys for watching. Have a good night.